Hello students, very good morning to all of you. Myself Devesh Singh from LPM Public School Gola Bazaar. Once again you are most welcome here. Today I am going to proceed the chapter Constitutional Design, and in this chapter you have to read the topic why do you need a constitution. Dear students, this is a very important topic, and in the last chapter as you have read that what is democracy, the values of democracy, and the rights, that is the power for the people in a democratic country. Here in the last video students we have read the South Africans examples and the sacrifice of Nelson Mandela and his companions, that how he sacrificed their life, and finally South Africa was a democratic country, and the peoples, the colored people also got independent there. Here we have to read that why we need a constitution and what do constitution do. You have read that the oppressors and the oppressed in the new democracy plan to live together as equals. Means here this line indicates to the white supremacy and black supremacy in South Africa, where finally the colored peoples were agree to live together with white people, as they know that how much they have oppressed them. After that they were agreed to live together. It was not going to be easy for them to trust each other. They had their fears, they wanted to safeguard their interests. The black majority was keen to ensure that the democratic principle of majority rule was not compromised. After that, they were ready to live together. They decided to have a trust between these two supremacy, and they wanted substantial social and economical rights. The white minority was keen to protect its privilege and property. After long negotiations, both parties agreed to a compromise. The whites agreed to the principle of majority rules and that of one person, one vote. They also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and the workers. And this was agreement between the both parties to accept some basic rights. And these basic rights were for the poor people and for the daily wage workers in South Africa. The blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute. They agreed that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. And there was also an agreement between the both parties that the majority would never take the property of the white minority, because this time the black peoples, the black community was in the government. They were ruling power at that time. So this was the agreement. This compromise was not easy. How was this compromise going to be implemented? Even if they managed to trust each other, what was the guarantee that this trust will not be broken in future? But there was a fear in the heart of the white supremacy that maybe this is an agreement, but they will follow or not. It was a great fear there, but Nelson Mandela had announced that definitely on any rate they will follow their principles. The only way to build and maintain trust in such a situation to write down some rules of the game that everyone would abide by these rules, lay down how the rulers are to be chosen in future. These rules also determine what the elected governments and empowered to do and what they cannot do. Finally, these rules decide the rights of the citizen. These rules will work only if the winner cannot change them very easily. This is what the South African did. They agreed on some basic rules, and they also agreed that these rules will be supreme and that no government will be able to ignore these. And this set of basic rules is called a constitution. Such types of rules formed their by a meeting, by the meeting of both supremacy, and there was some changing, and these changings was the rules, and the rules there was the rights for everyone, there was powers to everyone, rules, there was rules for all the citizens. They also set some basic rules. So all the rules that was set in the meeting, finally it was called the Constitution of South Africa. Okay, students, I hope this is clear to you. Now, constitution making is not unique to South Africa. Every country has diverse group of people. Their relationship may not have even as wide as that between the whites and the black in South Africa. You know that in a country there are diversity. There is diversity, and different type of people, different community of people live there. So it was a very difficult way to understand the feeling of each and every people there, as the world people have differences of opinion and interest, and every people has their own opinion, their own interest. So to maintain the people's interest, to and to accept and to follow the opinions for each and every people was a very very difficult matter for the government at that time. Whether democratic or not, most countries in the world need to have these basic rules. This applies not just to governments. Any association needs to have its constitution. It would be a club in your area, to cooperative society or a political party. They all need a constitution, and to maintain all the people's power, to maintain all the people's opinion, interest, it required equality. It requires to remove the sense of discrimination. So to remove such type of sense from the people's heart, it requires a free and fair constitution, a constitution that could provide the people's rights, so that the people could raise their voice freely, so that the people could do their work properly, so that the peoples have powers and the peoples have uh, obligations to do their work properly. Thus, the constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. Now, constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living tertiary in a tertiary called citizen, and also the relationship between the people and government. A constitution does many things. Means here the chief fact, the chief motto of the constitution was to have a supreme law that could determines the relationship of among the peoples and the government and the its tertiary, so that there could be a easy communication established, and the people could raise their voice and the government could follow their uh, demands. Now, firstly, the constitution generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. The first the first uh, requirements for constitution is it generates a degree of trust. Means especially the constitutions generates a degree of trust in the heart of the people, and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people, so that they could live together without any discrimination. Now, secondly, it specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decision. Secondly, the constitution has power that after the formation of the government, the ruling party take decision, and what will be the basic to have decision, what will be the basic rule, so that there is no loss, there is no harmful way for the people. It was the chief motto at that time to create this constitution. Thirdly, it lays down limits on the power of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. And in the third point, there was some limitation. This limitation was binded for the government and also for the citizen. Everyone has to leave, the people or the government to rule in the country under the rules, under the act and articles of the constitution. Fourth, it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. And this is the responsibility of the government, that they have to maintain a good society, so that the people could get the chief requirements like that: education, health, shelter, food. That is the chief requirements for the citizen of a country. Now, all countries that have constitution are not necessarily democratic, but all countries that are democratic will have constitution. And it is not much that all countries have constitution, that constitution is a democratic constitution, but the countries that are democratic country, definitely they have constitution, and they have to work under the limits, under the powers of the constitution. After the War of Independence against Great Britain, the Americans gave themselves a constitution. And just after the war between Great Britain and America, finally America also have a constitution for it. And after their revolutions, the French people approved a democratic constitution. And just after the French Revolution, the people in France also demanded for constitution, the constitution that is full of democratic rule and regulation, so that there will be also a democratic government. Since then, it has become a practice in all democracies to have a written constitution. Now, you see, students, uh, now we have to read the next point: making of the Indian Constitution. Making of the Indian Constitution. Here, when we read about the formation of Indian Constitution, at first the first name is Vallabhbhai Patel. Vallabhbhai Patel, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, was born in 1875 and he was died in 1950. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was at that time, he was born in Gujarat and he was Home Minister of India at that time. And in the matter of information and broadcasting in the interim government, liar and leader of Bardoi Peasant Satyagraha, he played a decisive role in the integration of the Indian princely states, later Deputy Prime Minister. So, whenever we talk about the Indian Constitution at that time, this name Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel names comes first, as all the credit goes to him after his great efforts. Finally, India India also became a democratic country, and many tertiary also uh, were agreed to be united in with India.